Good evening. I'm Kaylee Gallagher, co-founder of Flutter Social, the smart way to plan your social and corporate events online. I'm going to go on a limb here. This looks like a rowdy group. How many of you have planned a major event? Wedding? Mitzvah? Corporate event? Like this, right? I was recently maid of honor in 2 weddings at the same time, so I can tell you with firsthand experience that planning an event at that scale is extremely time-consuming. You have to find and hire multiple businesses to come together and create a cohesive experience for you. Brides are being thrown into an industry where they have no experience, and it's literally like taking on a second job. In fact, on average, couples are spending 350 hours planning their wedding. That's 9 full weeks of work. And they're spending their life savings, so these are major purchases that they're being thrown into. $35,000. That's a life savings, right? So ultimately what they're doing is being thrown in to make major decisions without all the information they need to make these large purchases. And it's a very siloed way that they have to go about it, a fragmented industry. Hello, Flutter Social. We're a virtual event planning marketplace that connects consumers to event professionals they're most likely to hire. And we do this by analyzing user trends with machine learning and tapping into shared connections. Because at the end of the day, you're most likely to hire a professional that comes recommended from a friend who's used it in the past, or a business who's recommended another professional that they love to work with. Ultimately, we're using data to empower consumers with our price predictor and allowing them to make purchases with confidence. Our business model is straightforward. We're actually tapping into both sides of the marketplace. For the businesses, it's a tiered subscription model for them to appear in matches with consumers and ultimately transact. Now, on the consumer side, it's a freemium funnel. So we get them in, they can easily match with local professionals, dive deep into profiles, and inquire with a click. Now, when they move to transact on the site, we take a portion of that as commission. We also know that there's a 30% of our user base that is interested in a concierge, more high-end service that we'll also be tapping into. So this is a $350 billion industry, events in the US, and that's looking at weddings, mitzvahs, and corporate events. Now there's 4 million events that happen every year, and there's 600,000 event professionals. So our total addressable market is a $4 billion opportunity. We're looking initially at the 8 major event regions here in the US. This is the highest density of event professionals, and that brings it to an initial opportunity of $1 billion. So again, this is a platform technology, but our beachhead market is weddings, and here's why. It's the first major event that a consumer plans. Again, they're being thrown into an industry where they have no idea where to start. And ultimately, the thing that's most attractive about entering with weddings is the fact that they're hiring up to 14 different professionals at a time, and these tech-savvy consumers are used to on-demand conveniences in every part of their life. I'm going to go out on a limb again and ask if anyone has ever used a dating app. Right? See some hands. So I use a lot of dating apps. And ultimately, consumers are finding their spouses. They're swiping to find the person they're going to marry. We're right on the other side of that. They can keep swiping and find the event professionals they need to put on their big day. So here's how it works. Sarah just got engaged. She's super excited. That excitement quickly turns into being really overwhelmed. Her friend tells her about Flutter Social, so she goes to the site. She completes one profile where she can tell us about her vision for the day. From there, she's instantly matched with local professionals that best fit her criteria and whenever possible are connected through her network. She can dive deep into the profiles, understand everything she needs to inquire with confidence, and ultimately, based on her behaviors and the feedback that we're getting, our recommendations are getting smarter. She hires her venue, and based on what we know about the user, and now that she's hired this professional, we'll show her the planner, the photographer, the videographer, that have experience working in that space and with one another, so she's assembling a team with confidence. So what does a competition look like? You've probably all used Yelp. This is a flat listing directory, and this is really where the wedding industry and events industry in general stands today. There's the Knot and Wedding Wire. User goes to the site, inputs their search criteria, and the results that are returned are based on whatever business pays the most, shows up the highest. So there's a clear misalignment in the matches that are getting delivered and the consumers that are being sent over. There's a low conversion there. And it's obvious. It's because you're just putting in front of me whoever paid the most. So our approach is really, we know that network connections have the highest conversion rate as far as leads. So that's what we tap into, in addition to that feedback loop, understanding really the psychology and the preferences of the consumer, to ultimately connect consumers to businesses that result in a transaction. A quick look at where we've been. To say the least, I appreciate Shannon's intro. I would say we are definitely hustlers. We've launched both in Greater Philadelphia and Northeast Ohio with an invite-only rollout. So we have 360 businesses on the platform, and we have an additional waitlist of another 350. Now, these are engaged businesses. They've uploaded over 25,000 images, and they've made over 2,000 connections on the platform, showing us who they work with and really fueling that recommendation engine. Now, once we open it up to consumers, we have a very engaged consumer base as well. The reason they love Flutter Social is the fact that we're really streamlining the event planning process for them. So we have grown our consumer base into the thousands, and we've delivered over 60,000 business recommendations on demand. As we look forward into the future, we're now taking the engaged community that we've built, all the data that we're collecting, and really helping them make informed decisions. So our price predictor and ultimately bringing transactions on site opens up additional revenue streams. Over the next 12 months, as we really focus on growing in the regions that we're currently in and focusing on delighting our customers, we're being positioned to move into New York as the next major market. So what does it look like when we enter a new market? Again, it's invite only. So this allows us to really control the quality of the professionals on the site. What we do is we give a business that's on with Flutter Social at least 3 invitations to share with their network. This is how we build out the business side of a connected network of professionals who like to work together. We also empower them with content to share on the consumer side. They share it on social and with couples who have already booked them, so that ultimately we're tapping into our network to build out both sides of the marketplace. Now, Marcy and I have been commercializing technologies together for over 6 years. We actually met at Cleveland Clinic Innovations and have brought several multi-million-dollar technologies to market. Marcy is a problem-solving engineer, and there is no personal or professional problem she has not been able to solve. So she's right there if you need any of her services. And I have sales and marketing expertise that I bring to our team. We are currently raising $500,000, really to focus on growth in Pennsylvania and Ohio. And from there, really delighting the customer with the product improvements that they've been asking for and that we briefly mentioned earlier. From there, that puts us in a great position to enter New York, where we do have a wait list of event professionals waiting to get on Flutter Social. So if you're excited about an opportunity to reimagine a completely new events industry and empowering consumers to really make smart hiring decisions and empowering these businesses to generate leads through their network, we want to talk to you. So let's get this party started.